Hello, beautiful souls. Hello. How are you doing? We are now live for the frequency shift. So welcome. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes while I check that we're actually live and this is working, and to give those of you that are ready to come onto this live a chance to pop on. So let's just check first of all that this is working. And if you are coming on live, definitely say hello as you drop in. Tell me who you are, where you're signing in from. Tell me how you're feeling today. What's the vibe? What's the frequency that you're in today? What's going on? Oh, here we go. Okay, we're good. We're live. All right, brilliant. Now I'll just give it another minute. It is absolutely roasting here in the UK. We've had another heat wave. That's like 2 in a few weeks. And we can't cope with it. We don't have aircon here. And for some reason, I have really fancied to have a cup of tea. So I'm just going to have a drink of that, which makes no sense in this weather. It was literally unbearable last night. So I don't know why I can't see my comments. Let's just see if I can fix that quickly. Because I don't want to not be able to talk to you. There we go. I fixed the comments. I can now see. All right. Excellent. Let's get started. So, oh, hi there. Someone is here from Hamburg, Germany. We're in a severe heat wave here as well. I'm fine though. I know it's crazy, isn't it? Welcome from Germany. That's very exciting. Yeah, we've got 2 dogs as well. So it's been really tricky with them. Especially yesterday was the worst. Today's kind of cooled off a bit and there's a little bit of a breeze going on. But oh my God, the poor dogs yesterday, it was hell for them. So, but you know, we can just about cope, can't we? All right, awesome. And just remember, anyone that's popping on live to join us, I know most people are watching the replay, then definitely let me know that you're here. Hi, Bridget. Hi, welcome, lovely. Where are you coming in from? Whereabouts are you in the world? Let me know. Right, so without further ado, let's get started because I'm already a tiny bit behind. So Brighton. Oh, yeah, Brighton, where my sister is. Amazing. Hopefully it's a bit cooler down there as well. Right, so welcome to the frequency shift. I'm really excited to be here and leading this class with you. It's going to be a masterclass and an energy activation. I want you leaving here as a different version of you to when you first joined this masterclass. So it's more than a class, it's an energy activation and recalibration. That's what I want for you. So before we get started, I just encourage you, this is what I always find is very, very powerful. Before I'm about to learn something, embody something, or soak up someone else's energies, I like to go through a short intention setting and just really ground my energy so I can be open to it. So I just invite you to do the same thing and perhaps put your hand on your heart, or maybe even just focus on your heart space. I'm going to play some music. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not, but you can let me know. Hopefully it's not too loud. Let's just turn it down a tiny bit. And just take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Another deep breath in and out. And just let the busyness of the day shake off. Let it dissolve. Let the energy of rushing around, of doing, of thinking, of being on, just slowly dissolve around your body, around your energy field, as you just connect to your heart space and you connect to who you are, who you really are. And just feel that energy expand in your heart, almost like a glowing ball of golden light. Feel it expanding and getting bigger and bigger. And as it does this, it opens up your heart. And just feel into that frequency of just stillness, of receiving, of truth, of expansion, of empowerment. Feel your body, connect with your soul, connect with your higher self, connect with your truth, with your soul desires. And from this place, we're just going to set an intention. So first of all, my intention for you is that this is the most powerful class and energetic upgrade experience that I have ever held and run, and that you have ever attended. and that you are fully activated in your power throughout this class, that you unlock the frequency that is truly you and who you are, and that you have breakthrough after breakthrough. I want you to leave having integrated and implemented everything that you learned so that you're ready to make courageous decisions, make courageous choices, actually make the changes in your life that are required for you to go to that next level. So this isn't left as learning, this isn't left as just soaking up more information. You actually take this and you implement and integrate it and actually change your life from what you learn here today. I want you to leave this class feeling empowered, excited, inspired, creative, courageous, motivated, and daring to dream bigger than you have ever allowed yourself to dream. Today is a permission slip for you and your dreams. And so you are ready to live a life without restriction. So now, just for a second, I just invite you to set your own intention. What is it that you're here for? What brought you to this space today? What would you love to achieve, to break through? What is it you'd love to know or feel? Who would you love to become? And just feel into that for a moment. Now just take a deep breath to integrate it. And breathing out again. You can open your eyes, come back to the room, and receive everything you've just set your intention to receive. So I see we have more people joining us. Again, let me know in the chat who's here, where you're coming in from, and how you're doing today, what frequency you're in. So before we get into it, let me just start by reminding you and really setting the scene for this class. You have so much more power and control of your life than you believe, than you realize, and that you've been allowing yourself to think. If you are struggling to change or create change, if you're struggling to change who you are, to change a situation or a circumstance, if you're struggling to break through to that next level, and it's likely that you have been trying lots of things already. Maybe you have been trying lots of tactics and strategies. You've been trying mindset. You've been trying healing. You've been watching lots of videos. You've been reading lots of self-help books. You've been doing all the things. Then I invite you to just be open to the idea that the reason things haven't changed is that this has been a backwards approach. So today I want to take you straight to the root cause, because when we take the backward approach to changing our lives, it can take a really long time, and it can feel hard, and it can feel heavy, and it can be very frustrating. And it's kind of like we are actually dealing with the symptoms instead of dealing with the root cause. So like having a headache because you're not drinking enough, you've got dehydration, and then you end up taking painkillers for 7 days every day to make this headache go away, not realizing that if you had only drunk more water, more fluids, then there wouldn't even be a headache in the first place, right? So that is what this class is all about. I want to take you to the root cause. Forget the symptoms. Let's go straight to the root cause, which is your energy. It is your frequency. It is your frequency that creates your reality. And you are actually in control of that. So today I want you to take your power back. So if you think about it, everything in this world is energy. Everything in this planet is energy, this universe. Every thought you have, every belief you have, every emotion you have, all carries an energetic frequency. And all of this is anchored into your subconscious through energy. So even if you've been doing the belief work and you've been trying to think positively and doing all those things focused on your thoughts, we're literally just looking at it from a mind level. I'll come on to that in a minute, but we're looking at it from a mind level. And what I'm encouraging you and inviting you to do today is look at it from an energetic level, because every one of these things carries its own energy. So when we look at things from an energetic lens, and when we approach things from a frequency perspective, we shift at the root, which means we can change so many things so much faster because we're going to the root cause. So your life is currently responding to the energetic signal you're sending out, which is your frequency. And when you change your frequency, you actually start to open up to a new reality. You start attracting different things in. You start thinking in a different way. You have a different perspective on life. You feel differently. You have new ideas. You have different insights dropping through all the time. You take different actions because you're in an empowered state. You do things that scare you. Even though you're scared, you ignore your doubt and you go for your dreams. You act as a completely different person. And this is because you're coming at it from a frequency level first. So the universe and everybody in your life is responding to you and your energetic frequency, your energetic signal that you are broadcasting. So when you change that signal, the universe and everybody else will change how they respond to you. You show up differently, life changes how it's responding to you. And that is the fastest way to change anything. So in this masterclass, I'm going to show you exactly how that works. I'm going to share the 3 secrets to instantly shifting your frequency so you can reclaim your power and live the life you actually want. I'm going to show you the 4 hidden energetic patterns that are dominating most people's lives, and there'll be one dominant one for you as well. So I'm going to show you exactly what that is so that you can stop letting it block your next level of expansion. You can see where the self-sabotage is coming in and you can shift it. I'm going to share the 1 unconscious habit that is keeping you looping the old same reality and the same old identity and how to break it. And I'm also going to share the single activation that shifts your frequency the fastest, holds you to new and higher standards, and makes you an energetic match to everything that you have been calling in without years spent healing, binge watching any more manifestation videos, trying harder, having more control, or trying to have more control over reality, or even trying to force your way through to what you want. And I say all of these things with love because I've done all of them. It's exactly where I am, and I still slip into these patterns. But the difference is I see it, I recognize it, and I know exactly how to shift it, so I don't have to stay in them for long. I'll also be leading you through a couple of energetic experiences to show you how quickly you can shift your frequency and how quickly you can tap into something else, which shows you how much control you actually have every second of the day. So right at the end of this class, I'll also be sharing an invitation with those of you that this class resonates with, the ones that are activated and ready to take this further and actually want to learn how to integrate this, how to implement it, and how to embody this at a deeper level in real time with support. I'll be sharing an invitation at the end for those people too. So I don't want to just sit here and help you feel inspired and help you feel motivated and give you a shift that lasts the day, and then you wake up tomorrow as the same old version of you, the same old frequency, the same old patterns, the same old fears. I want to actually help you get activated. That is what I'm here for on this planet, is to help women activate their power, help them reclaim it, help them actually make the changes that they want to, so they don't have to waste years wishing they had, or wasting time not being who they want to be in their lives and actually living the life that they want. So that is what that invitation is all about at the end. So if you are coming across this on YouTube right now and you haven't signed up and you can't stay and watch, but you want to, then there is a link right at the top where you can sign up for the replay. So you can just go and register for that, and you'll have the replay sent to you in a link later on today. So before we get into the teaching aspect, let me just show you exactly how I got into this work and why I believe it is the most powerful work you can do if you want to make any changes in your life. So a few years ago, I had a business with a business partner, and we'd run it successfully for several years. It had been going really, really, really well. And then all of a sudden, one year, it started dipping. Sales started declining. Things started getting worse. And it felt to us like it had come out of nowhere. And everything just seemed, it didn't matter what we did, everything just seemed hard. Everything was we were trying the different strategies, we were trying the different tactics, we were learning more things of what we should be doing to try and fix it. And we were coming from this energy and this frequency of, this is a really bad problem, this is a really big thing. And, you know, we've got to wrestle this problem to the ground. We've got to fix it, we've got to sort it out. It's a problem, it's danger. You know, and we were in that mindset, and we hadn't been paid for 6 months. These months went on and on where we didn't have enough money to pay ourselves. So we were feeling a bit desperate. We really wanted to shift this thing. And after these 6 months, or after about 4 months, I had been going deeper into learning about manifestation, about the subconscious mind, about the power of our mind, about our power of creation. And I ended up doing this program that helped me tap into my subconscious mind and belief work. It helped me understand identity, which I'll talk about in a little while as well. And it also helped me understand that everything is energy, and helped me really tap into that idea that I can actually change by changing who I'm showing up as and the energy that I'm in. And at this point, I realized, we were in this really low frequency energy, low vibrational energy of fear, of doubt, of firefighting, of desperation, of lack, so much scarcity, forgetting that we'd been running this business for years and it had been going so well, forgetting all of that, hyper focused, hyper vigilant on this one thing, which is no sales, no money, no sales, no money. And that was kind of going on in an unconscious loop through our minds. So our energy was low, it was dense, it was fear-based. And what do they say? When your emotions are high, intelligence is low, right? So our emotions were heightened, they were in a low vibration. So the choices we were making were coming from fear. So our intelligence was low. We weren't making the best. We weren't tapped into our intuition, into our higher self. We didn't have this broad perspective. We weren't looking at it from, this whole world view. Instead, we couldn't see the wood for the trees. It was like our focus had got so narrow that all we could focus on, even though there's lots of other things in life, lots of other things in this business that we could focus on, is all we looked at, is all we could focus on. And so it went down and down and down and down. As I started implementing this work that I'm about to share with you, as I started changing my energetic frequency, as I started changing how I saw myself and my identity, things started shifting. We opened up the pathway to new possibilities coming in. We found a new strategy that we wanted to try that wasn't available to us before because we just couldn't see it. We just weren't in that frequency. We started doing different things. We started tapping back into the business and looking at our brand. We actually did a rebrand so that we could just feel the passion for it. We could feel the love for it instead of looking at it in lack and restriction and hating it. And, it's so bad. We instead fell back in love with it. And we got creative and we felt passionate. And you can feel, as I'm describing it, like how different is that energy when you are working on your business, for example, because this is the example in this story, when you have that passion, that creativity, that you are open and you're open to possibility and you're excited and it's fun, right? Instead of wrestling something to the ground, it's fun. And as our energy shifted, our sales suddenly started getting higher again. So one month they were like 20% back up, then they were 30% back up, then they were 50% back up. And what we'd done to really draw a line in the sand and mark this as a permanent shift, like no going back, line in the sand moment, before we started really working on ourselves and the energy and the business in that way, from this new perspective, we said, right, we're about to go out of business. We've got no money. We haven't been paid for 6 months. We're going to run out of stock. No one even wants it. We literally don't have a business anymore. And so we decided to change the focus from that to our vision, which was, all right, if everything's energy, everything's possible, and I can do and be and have anything, let's set a target for £1 million over the next 12 months. And that's what we're going to do, even though it looks absolutely impossible, even though we can't see how it's going to happen. We don't know. Even though we're in lack and scarcity, even though we haven't been paid for 6 months, even though all the excuses that tell us that we can't do something or have something, even though, let's just commit to that decision, hold that vision. We're going to hit £1 million and we don't care. And let's do that. And it took us 13 months to get there, not 12 months. So a month after the 12 months, we look back on those 12 months and we'd done £1 million revenue, which we'd never done before. And it was double what we had been doing in the good years, right? So, and a lot more than double than what we'd done in that last year because it had gone to crap, basically. And we were just like, wow, what the hell is going on? Like, so many miracles happened during that time. So many road bumps happened. So many challenges happened. And this is what people don't realize. Like, if you've got a goal and you change your energy, it doesn't mean that everything's going to be roses and suddenly you're just going to get everything handed on a plate. You still have to grow. You still have to rise through the challenges. So what we did was hold that frequency and that identity and that vision as we navigated the road bumps, as things came out of nowhere and hit us in the face and it felt like we were going to fail again. We had to hold that vision, that frequency, and it is the frequency that got us there. It became our roadmap, it became our blueprint, it became our new North Star, and it was the $1 million a year frequency, and that is what we held, and that is why it worked. And it was absolutely mind-blowing. So as I realized this, I then became a coach and started coaching people on mostly mindset and identity. And I was seeing how it was taking a long time for many of my clients to really get it, to really shift. And so I then wanted to integrate more energy work. So I started bringing some energy work in, but I'd only learned it by myself, things that I'd learned in programs for myself and things on my own healing and things from my own tuition. So as I started seeing how this really actually helped people shift, because they weren't coming from a mind perspective anymore, they were coming from an energetic perspective, and it was freeing up the space for them to become someone new. As I realized this, I then decided I was going to learn to become an energy healer, because I wanted to help people at a whole new level where I could actually go in and work with them on an energetic level through energy healing sessions and energy alchemy sessions where they didn't have to do anything and I could just do it for them. But I could also teach them how to do it for themselves as well, different aspects of it. And this is when people got the fastest results. So I'm going to share like a few examples of these so that you can resonate and it can relate to you a little bit more, rather than me just talking from a conceptual point of view. I can show you this, how this actually works in real life, right? Because often we hear these things and they feel amazing, but we're like, how do we apply that to life? How does that actually work? And what's it actually going to do for me? How's it going to change things? So I'm going to go through all of that. Don't you worry. And so energy and frequency has become the most powerful thing to me to be focused on, beyond mindset, beyond, none of this thing. Let's just think positively and everything's going to be all right. Let's just feel good and everything's going to be all right. There is a specific energetic frequency you are sending out, and that is exactly what you are getting back. So when you look around at your reality, it is a reflection of your energetic frequency. So, we were told to just think positively. We were told if we felt good about life, then everything would be okay. And while for some people maybe that does work, but it certainly didn't work for me. It ended up with me being in a pattern of forcing these things and never really getting what I wanted out of life. So that's where I came down to the energetic signals. So the old way was the mindset. It's just focused on the mind. Think differently, reprogram your beliefs, rewire your beliefs, say affirmations into the mirror, all these things. And again, I'm not bashing these tools, but when you're trying to change your mind and your mind is so rooted in a certain way of being, a certain way of thinking, it's because there's so much energy that is literally keeping it anchored in. And until you shift the energy, you can't shift the pattern. So let's just see if you can see this. So the old way is the mind, and what I want to show you today is the new way, which is when we come from an energetic point of view, we are including the mind, we're including the body, we're including the emotions, we're including everything, but we're also looking at our much broader energetic field, and we are shifting exactly what is being broadcasted out to make it magnetic, to make it stronger, to make it clearer, a clearer signal for you to be sending out what you want, and then that to be coming back to you. So this is so powerful. So when you're in a high frequency, and you'll know this yourself, when you're in a high frequency, you feel amazing. This isn't just an emotion like love. Love is a high frequency, but we're not just talking about an emotion. When you're in a high frequency state, you feel love, you can feel gratitude, you can feel happy, you can feel peace, you can feel lots of different emotions, right? Because you're in this high frequency. And yourself, when you're in this frequency, the things seem to naturally unfold for you, don't they? Things seem to come together. Like if you had a work thing that you needed to do, and then suddenly you get the ideas, and suddenly it just flows. And then suddenly this conversation you had to have with someone, or an argument you were having with someone, suddenly dissolves and sorts itself out, and something changes. And, we hear all the time about the car parking spaces and all of that kind of thing. And that's true too. But life literally responds to you, and you have a different experience when you're in a different high frequency state. And when you're in a low frequency state, you also know, it's that whole analogy of getting out of the bed the wrong side, isn't it? You get out of bed, wake up in a grump, feel terrible, and then you're like, oh, today's going to be an awful day. And then you have problem after problem after problem. You're stuck in traffic, something's late, you have an argument, someone sends an email that you don't like, you get all of these things. Now, while these things could still happen in a high frequency state, they don't bother you. It just doesn't bother you. You're not going to react to it. But in a low frequency state, you react to it, and then you end up anchoring it into your reality. It ends up becoming a more consistent problem in your life because you keep seeing it and it keeps happening, and then it becomes your dominant state. So I remember when I did Reiki level 1 before I went and did a completely different energy healing certification. And as part of that, you get an energetic attunement. So I had an attunement session on me where they are sort of cleansing your energy field and also downloading their energy into yours. And it's a complete experience. And so I remember having it done. And the next day I woke up and I was literally walking on air. Everything looked different because my frequency had been cleansed. The energy, the heavy, dense energy had just been completely dissolved, and I was just elated. I felt like life was magical. I was looking around, literally everything that I looked at every day on a dog walk suddenly looked 10 times better. It looked beautiful, it looked amazing, and I was just like, wow, it feels like it's the first time I've seen these things. And then when I started getting energy healings done more often, it's the same thing. You wake up the next day or even that day and you feel completely different. You feel the frequency shift immediately. It puts you in a completely different state of consciousness, which enables you to have different ideas. It enables different opportunities to come. It enables you to problem solve in a completely different level of mind. And it makes everything so much easier. So it really does feel magical. So just drop in the comments about, your experience of this, about your experience of being in a high frequency state versus a low frequency state. Let me know what is resonating, what's coming through for you, and I'll read those comments in a bit. So, this energy, this frequency you're in is completely in your control. And the reason it instantly changes reality, because I talk about this a lot in my videos, is because it instantly changes your consciousness. It instantly changes your perspective. So remember what I was just saying about the Reiki training. I felt like I was walking around in a different reality. So the first thing that happens is it instantly changes your felt experience of your current reality. So reality hasn't changed yet, but how you feel about it, how you live in it, how you show up for it, how you experience it is completely different. And that's the first thing that needs to shift. And then when that happens, you've changed your signal, you've changed how you respond to reality. And so what happens is reality responds to you in a completely different way. And that's when physical reality changes. So it is extremely powerful. Now I'm just going to have a quick drink while I see if anyone's dropping any comments. So I'll come back to that in a minute. So secret number one, the 3 secrets that I was going to share with you today. So secret number 1 is something that I love talking about. If we want to shift our frequency and change our frequency really quickly, the first thing we have to do is we have to ignore reality. And I know this one gets some confusion and, people think that if you ignore reality, then you're being irresponsible, that you can't just ignore reality, that it's sat there hitting you in the face. But let me show you with this little diagram I've got to make it very easy to understand why this works and why this is important. So what do I need to do to bring that in where you can see it? Okay, it doesn't matter because we're looking at this one. Haven't quite mastered holding this thing yet. So this is the backwards way, and this is the way that practically every one of us is living. This is the way we've been taught to live, is to really believe in 3D, really believe in what we're seeing in our reality and react to it and fix it and sort it out. And so what we're doing is we're looking at reality, which is there, which is let's see if I can hold it a bit stiller. We're looking at reality. We are then getting emotionally involved with what we're seeing. So our emotions are connected to our reality. So we're looking at it going, I don't like this. This sucks. This shouldn't be happening to me. Whatever our thoughts are coming up. And it's making us feel a certain way about what we're looking at. So say it's a problem that you've got. You're looking at it going, this is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem, right? And because of how you're now thinking and feeling about the problem or reality, you now take a certain action. They're not actions you'd take from a high frequency state. They're actions you'd take from fear, from scarcity, from doubt, from lack, from frustration. And so what happens is these actions literally just make you continue to think, feel, and act in a different way. It means that you are identifying also with what's going on, because you're looking at it. The actions are making you loop the same thing over and over and over again, because you're still it doesn't matter what you do, you're in a frequency that is creating this reality, and you're fighting it energetically in your mind and with your emotions. So you're literally keeping it looping in existence. And because of this, you're thinking in alignment with that reality you don't want, you're feeling in alignment with that reality, and you are also started identifying with it. So now you think, this is just who I am, which is the most dangerous thing you can do. And we're going to talk about identity and secret number 3 as well, because when we identify with our problems, our reality, our circumstances, our past, whatever has happened to us, or whatever the limitations are, when we identify with that, then we are cutting ourselves off from every possibility, every potentiality. We are literally living a limited and restricted life, and it is not what we are here for. We are basically saying, this is all we can do, this is all we're worthy of, this, nothing else works. And so we stay stuck there. So tell me, how many of you, just drop in the comments, you can just say loop, how many of you are currently experiencing a reality loop right now, where there's a certain thing in your life, or maybe it's you're stuck in this dense energy of life in general, and nothing you do is shifting it, and you're trying different things. Just put loop if this is you, if you're stuck in a loop right now, because this is the reason you're in the loop. You can see all of these little blue dots here are all the different possibilities that are around you right now. You have infinite possibilities, infinite timelines, infinite options of what is available to you right now. But the reason you can't see it is because this energetic frequency is blocking you. Remember how I said in my business, there was all these things around us, all these opportunities, all these different things we could do, but all we were focused on was a problem. And it's because our energy and frequency and our emotions were keeping us stuck looking at the thing that we didn't want and firefighting it, right? Loop, me, yep. Yes, it all makes sense. That's what's happening. 2, sometimes when I'm feeling low, when I'm vibrating at high frequency, I have more flow and ease. Exactly. Like, it's crazy, isn't it? This is just how reality works. I absolutely resonate with what you're describing. I'm in a rather low frequency lately and really miss the joyful way I felt when my energy was high. Yep, I totally feel you. And you're in the perfect place, because I'm showing you how you can literally shift that today, right here and right now. We'll do a couple of exercises together, but even just everything that I'm sharing with you, you can shift it today. You are in control of that frequency, and you can change it at any point. Yeah, I'm trying to remind myself again and again not to identify with 3D. Feels like whack the mole. Oh my God, I know, because we're doing this. Because we're coming from the mind perspective of trying to remember, right? And this is part of the human experience too, right? We make the shift every day we wake up. We have to be in some kind of programming. We have to be in some kind of recalibration and like subconscious reprogramming. We have to be doing something every day to align our mind. But when we're just trying to remind ourselves, it's like our mind just goes mad. It just goes off on its own and then finds all the problems that's wrong. The brain's wired for survival. It's always looking for what's wrong and what's in danger. But when we start off the day shifting our energy first, it's so much easier to control our mind, because the energy is clear, the signal is clear. And from that place, that's when we do the reprogramming. That's when we tap into the reality that we want. That's when we tap into the remembrance that we're not the 3D, because our energy is in a different state. So it makes it so much easier. So the new way, the reality creation way, is that we are no longer, reality is still here, but we're no longer giving it our undivided attention. We're no longer saying this is everything and this is all that's here for me and nothing can ever change. Instead, we are going to our imagination. As I'm sure you're well aware, we need to create from our imagination, but we're holding that vision. Remember what I said in my story, holding the vision of what we wanted, the £1 million. We were just like, it's done. We don't care how. We had fear, we had doubt, we had all of that crap going on in our lives. It was a scary time, but we kept making the decision. We didn't believe it. It took a while for us to believe it, but we just kept recommitting to the decision, right? So we kept looking at we're going to have £1 million year. Who would we be if we were having £1 million year right now? let's have a look at ourselves. Let's have a look at our identity. Let's have a look at our energy. How are we feeling? How are we reacting? How are we responding to this right now? Are we celebrating ourselves? Are we, or are we moaning about them? And one of the things we actually did to completely shift our frequency was we started celebrating every sale, no matter how small it was. So even though they were about a third of what they were, and they'd just been dramatically declining for over 6 months, we celebrated them instead of looking at them every day like we had for 6 months going, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. What's going to happen? It's going to go down. So instead we were like, woof, we got sales, celebrating the people, celebrating the customers, celebrating our product in people's homes, celebrating the fact that we have created something that solves a problem. We've given them a solution, celebrating the brand, celebrating, we moved into that energy of celebration, which is a high frequency state. And it feels good. It felt so much better than complaining and moaning. We had to train ourselves to do that. We had to be consistent with it, because otherwise the old program comes back, as we know, the loop, right? So we tap into our imagination. Now, our emotions, because we're thinking about the thing that we want and we're not firefighting anymore, our emotions are raised. Our state's different. We're in a different energy. And so we take actions that are more aligned to the vision rather than the problem. And because of that, we start walking towards and creating a new reality. We've broken the loop because we are looking at and holding energetically and in our frequency a completely different idea of what it is that we want. And we're doing that with our imagination. We're making a decision and we're moving towards it unapologetically. We are shifting from the frequency of what is, which is the current reality, which is making you feel a certain way. And it also, if you stay stuck on that frequency of what is, nothing else is possible, because you're in the predictable frequency. Basically, you're going to get more of the same. When we shift over to the frequency of possibility, then we are opening our energy field, we're opening our mind, we're expanding our consciousness, and we are now open to things changing. We're not saying nothing's ever going to change anymore. We're now saying anything can change, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. Let's just see if I can put that down without it dropping. Okay. So that is the first secret. It is the moving from the what is frequency and the predictable frequency to the frequency of possibility, which just opens you up completely. So I had a client that was a high achieving, successful woman. She was in corporate career. She'd done really, really well in her career. She was in her 60s, I think she was 62. And she was very, very stressed and burnt out, and she was stuck in a frequency of just being in burnout, looking at the problem, looking at the fact that she was no longer doing what she wanted to do. She wasn't happy. There was a lot of pressure. And so she was just stuck looking at what is, this is my core, I can't leave. I'm 62. How can I start something else? Like, I'd love to do some writing. I'd love to do some even coaching, because she'd been doing some coaching mentoring as part of this business. I'd love to do that, and then she's looking at reality, all the reasons why we're not allowed, the fear, the doubt, right? I'm too old, I can't start something new. We need this money. We've been relying on my income, all the rest of it. But she's in complete burnout. She's getting really unwell, and she just can't carry on with it. She literally can't carry on with it. So what happened when we started working together was she immediately took a sabbatical, gave herself permission to create some space. And in that sabbatical, her frequency lifted because the pressure came off. She was in firefighting survival mode. She was completely stressed out. And as that just got given a break, as she created space for herself to just be and to just tap into her creativity, to allow herself to move from this space to going to the idea of what she wanted, going into her imagination, and actually allowing herself to dream of a different life and do different things. And as she did that, she was then able to apply the identity work, because when you're firefighting, when you are in a frequency of looking at what is and feeling stuck, and like your circumstances and conditions are completely controlling you, then it's very difficult to reprogram your mind, because your nervous system is dysregulated, and it will always bring you back. It will not allow you the calories to rewire your subconscious mind. It takes a lot of energy to reprogram your thoughts, to reprogram those neural pathways in your brain. It takes consistent energy. So if you're in survival, if you're in dysregulation, like, your nervous system won't allow you. And that is also what causes the loop, is because your nervous system is like, no, come back, no, come back, no, come back, right? So it's not your fault. It's that you are in a dysregulated state. And that is, again, where frequency work will help you shift. So as she got into an elevated state, her whole life started changing. And I'm going to come on to the rest of that story in a minute, because it's really powerful, but it's also really, really relevant to another part in secret number 2. So I'm going to share the rest of that there. I had another client who, which one was I going to speak to you about? I can't even read my notes. So I had another client who I ended up doing an energy healing session for her. And this is just to show you and demonstrate how quickly frequency can change what's happening in your outer reality. Sometimes it takes a long time, especially if something's stubborn and it's been there a long time and you're actually having to rewire your beliefs as well as do the frequency, right? You're actually having to shift. So those things can take longer if they've been a problem for a long time, what we deem to be a problem. But other times it can just shift instantly. So she had these clients circling her. She was a coach, and she had these clients that were kind of like in a sort of, they were really interested, but they hadn't quite come in and hadn't quite signed up to work with her yet. But she knew that she could help them. She knew they wanted to do it, but it was just that, like, you know, there was that distance, that void. And so we did an energy healing session. It's one of my breakthrough sessions that I offer. And so it starts with coaching, where we sort of get deep and actually expose the blind spots. So, you know, obviously we have a story and we think it's this, right? It's never the story that we think it is. There's some beliefs, there's some blocks, there's some blind spots within the story that's actually creating the real issue. So I was able to coach her through that and really get deep and find out exactly what it is. And then once we'd done that, I then did an energy clearing specifically on this block, this issue, and the outcome that she wanted. So I did an energy healing session for her. And at the end of that, I received channeled messages. So from her spirit guides, from her soul, from mine, you know, and I'm able to give her specific channeled wisdom that's come from her energy, from working with her energy. Like, this stuff is just, it's mind blowing and it's really powerful. And so I got a message from her the next day. It wasn't even 24 hours. And she'd immediately had a client got in touch and pay in full, because she had changed her energy. She didn't chase them. She didn't do anything at all. They just popped in because her frequency had cleaned. Because whatever she had been emitting, which was maybe fear, which was maybe, maybe they don't want to work with me. Maybe there was some, you know, unworthiness attached, or just some fear and doubt. That frequency got clear and they were just like drawn in immediately. And that is the power of changing our frequency. So I just want to give you a quick experience now. I'm going to turn this music on again. But what I would love for you to do in the comments is, thank you so much for making clear that it's not one's fault. Oh my goodness. None of it's your fault. None of it's your fault. We're going to come on to this in secret number 2. Don't you worry. We can start berating ourselves, especially when we've been in this work for a long time and we have been trying lots of different things. We can start feeling like there's something wrong with us, feeling like we're broken, feeling like we are the problem. And there's a lot of self-blame that comes with that. And that is a core energetic pattern that holds a lot of people back, because that is a belief that gets created from this work sometimes. And it did for me too. So I completely resonate. But it's nobody's fault. It is literally just finding what works for you. And frequency and energy for me has been the most powerful thing that has ever changed anything. And it makes sense, because we're going directly to subatomic particles, which makes up the universe. So why wouldn't we start with what the universe is made of, right? So don't worry, I'll be answering that in more detail in a second. So first of all, tell me, can you hear the music? And is it too loud or too quiet? Because we'll use it again later. So if I can get the volume right for now, that'd be really useful. Just say, can you hear it? Can you hear it? Yes or no? And if it's loud or quiet, just type loud or quiet. I can hear it. It's fine for me. Amazing. Unless I get any other comments, I'll assume it's fine for everybody else then. Yes, brilliant. Okay, thank you guys. All right. So I'm going to guide you through a really short practice to help you detach from your reality and your circumstances. So take 3 deep breaths in and out. So breathing in deeply and then breathing out. Make them as deep and as long as you can, because the first thing in changing frequency is to calm and regulate your body, calm your mind, and just use your breath to bring you back into connection with yourself. Let yourself calm and settle. Feel connected back to yourself. And now just bring to mind a problem that is in your life right now, a circumstance, a condition, something you want to shift, something you've been trying to change but you can't, something that has been causing a lot of pain and frustration for you and struggle. Just raise that to your mind, allow that to come into your awareness. And as you do, just notice how it represents itself to you. So perhaps you'll see in your mind's eye a picture, a symbol, a video, sort of movie clip, or maybe you just might know something or feel something or hear something. Whatever it is, just allow it to be represented. There's no right or wrong. It's your subconscious. It's however it's been coded in your subconscious. So allow that to come to the surface and just notice what it is. Now I want you to also notice that there is a thick black cord between you and this thing. Just imagine this thick tube, this thick black tube or cord, like a rope. And this represents the energy, the frequency that is currently between you and this thing. So everything that you feel about it, whether there's doubt or fear, scarcity, frustration, pain, whatever it is, whatever those feelings are, I want you to just imagine they are all in this energetic cord. It is holding all of these feelings, these emotions, these thoughts. It is the energy between you and this thing. So it's connecting to this thing on the screen of your mind. Now I invite you to just imagine there is either a pair of gold scissors, a massive pair of gold scissors, or you can imagine a sword. You can even invite Archangel Michael to come with his sword. And just imagine you cutting the start of this cord from your body. So you are going to cut this energy cord that's between you and this thing. And I want you to hear it. I want you to feel it. I want you to see it. You can do it fast. You can do it slow. But just make sure you're experiencing as you do it. And as you cut through, it thuds to the floor. This heavy cord ripping itself from the circumstance and the problem and just thudding to the floor. And as it does that, you notice it getting enveloped and soaked up in white light, white energy, where it's going to be powerfully transmuted into something positive by the universe. Now feel the relief that you have now that this thing isn't holding you energetically anymore. Feel the freedom. Feel the peace. Feel the lightness in your body even. Feel the lightness in your energy field. And now imagine there's a golden beam of light just channeling into the top of your head, coming down into your heart. And now you're going to direct this energy at the circumstance, the problem, the situation, maybe it's even a person, whatever it was. So you are now sending a powerful beam of golden light between you and this person, and it is replacing the energy cord that was there. So you are now setting the intention to let go of the heavy energy, the resistance, the heavy friction. You're letting go of the fear and the doubt because you are no longer willing to put yourself through this. You are no longer willing to react in this way. You are no longer willing to hold this. And so you send love, you send healing, you send forgiveness, You send acceptance, radical acceptance for what it is, because it's not going to be this forever. And as we shift this frequency, it's already starting to change. So cover this thing in this golden energy and just know that while you are sat here with this energy between you now, there's no more resistance. There's no more problem. You can now lean into trust and surrender to a higher power that this is now going to be resolved for you. And I want you to set that intention. I am giving it up to a higher power. Whether that higher power is my soul, my higher self, the universe, God, source, whatever resonates with you, your guides, it doesn't matter. Feel the energy of surrender as you give it up. And now you have done all you need to do on this. You can now let go. And you can now use your attention and your energy and your focus onto what it is that you do want. And as you do this, you notice this symbol of the problem, the circumstance, just floating off, up into the air, up into the clouds, just floating off, getting further and further away from you, dissolving, disappearing. It's no longer even in your energy. And now your mind is clear to refocus on what it is that you do want, what it is that you want to create, the situation you are inviting in now. I'll take a deep breath in to integrate this. And a long exhale. You don't need to fight this anymore. Just keep coming back to this energy, knowing that it's already being taken care of. And trust that you will be given the action to do when it's the right time, when it's the right action. Now bring your awareness back into your body. Bring your mind back to the present moment. And you can open your eyes again. And just breathe a sigh of relief. And tell me in the comments, how differently do you feel now about this problem? What has changed in your frequency? What came up as a result of that energy practice? Just drop that in the comments, and I would love to hear, and I'd love to read them out as well. So while you're doing that, I'm just going to ask you, because secret number 2, we're going to be looking at the dominant energetic pattern that is currently running your life and blocking your next level of expansion. So I will also ask for you to drop in the comments, as well as your experience of that, who here has taken the WTF is my frequency quiz, which you may have seen on my videos or emails, is a quiz that helps you assess the various stages between living in a survival mode and living in creator mode, and moving from just surviving and firefighting life to actually becoming the life alchemist, actually becoming the version of us that understands how to move through life. And it doesn't mean everything's perfect, and I'll come on to that. It just means we understand our patterns. We understand that frequency creates everything. We understand we need to hold our identity and frequency in order to create the life that we want. And there's a couple of stages in between that. And there's no right or wrong. And you're going to resonate with all, probably with aspects of all of them. And that's okay. But there'll be one dominant frequency pattern that is running your life right now in this present moment. And that's what we're going to be talking about next. So it'll be interesting to know who's actually done that quiz. And if you did that quiz, which archetype you got as well. Drop that in the comments and let me know. And that'll be fun. And if you haven't done the quiz, there's a link in the description of this video right now. You can go and take the quiz and you can see which one you get. There's a lot more information on those sheets. It's so detailed. Honestly, you'll get so much value from that. And you'll get a couple of emails about it as well, showing you exactly what you need to do. So if you like that, if you like the idea of that and you like what I'm about to share, again, there'll be more detail if you just go and sign up for the quiz. We're only covering it to a degree in this session. So let's just see. I feel a bit lighter now, but it doesn't feel like the issue is gone for good. Is that normal? That just shows you how much energy is attached. Like the issue doesn't go. What we're doing is we're changing our frequency about it. When you change your energy about the thing and you allow it to just dissolve the heavy energy, that's when the thing changes. And it changes because, first of all, you change your reaction to it. So there's still this thing that you don't want in your reality, but instead of just putting all your attention and focus on it, we're cutting the energy cord, we're removing the energetic resistance, so you can now go and do this. So it's something you can do every day. I actually have something on my channel. I'm sure I've got a meditation on my channel that helps you do that. So this is just a complete example of where your energy is at the moment, where your frequency is at with this specific thing, right? So the more you do it, the lighter you will feel, and it will chip away at that resistance, and it will alleviate it, and it will help you shift it. But then the other things that come into this as well are the stories. Like, what are the stories you're telling yourself about it? What are the beliefs that you're integrating about it? The exercise shows you how quickly things can shift, even though everything's the same. It shows you that you have the power to shift your energy, even without anything changes. And that is the whole point of this. I did that quiz. The result was Seeker. Yeah, loads of people get the Seeker. Absolutely. And I'm not surprised, because a lot of my videos are around the healing trap. And, you know, I think it's such a huge thing in the personal development space, is that we end up trying to fix, trying to find, we buy into all the things, and like we can just stay stuck, right? Repeating patterns, trying to fix ourselves, thinking we're broken, thinking there's something wrong, which is exactly what we were talking about earlier. So, oh, I see. So I might have to repeat this. That's the thing with anything we do, like just doing something once isn't necessarily going to change everything for good. Well, it won't change everything for good. It's a reconditioning. It's a recalibration. You have to recode your energy as much as you have to recode your mind, right? I haven't done the quiz. That's okay. You can sign up for it. The link's in the description. I feel more accepting. For me, it was the first memory that came up. The first memory. Okay. It's good that you feel more accepting. That's the start of the energy shift, because it's like forgiveness work, right? When we hold resentment for someone, it's like pouring a cup of poison for our enemy and then drinking it ourselves. So when we forgive, we're not doing the forgiveness for them. We're doing it for us to heal ourselves, to stop us from living in a frequency and in a memory and in a pattern that we don't want to be in anymore. It's like a form of self-punishment almost. And it's the same thing when we feel that heavy energy towards something. It's not the problem, the person or the circumstance that's getting that energy. It's us that's creating it in ourselves, in our own field, and it stays us stuck in that problem. So we're shifting the energy. Amazing. Yeah, now I get it. Thank you. I'm so glad it helped. Okay, amazing. Right. Let's get on to the next secret then. So, you know about the quiz. Let me just find my notes, because there's a lot we're going through. So the dominant energy patterns. So we need this again. So this is what I've kind of come to realize after years of being in the personal development space and learning about manifestation, learning about, reading all the self-help books, listening to all the gurus, going on my own spirituality journey, studying to become a certified coach, certified energy healer, studying to become an NLP practitioner, all of these things, and then working with clients as well, lots and lots of clients, creating lots of content on YouTube, getting loads and loads of comments from people. These are the 4 energetic patterns that I see are the most frequent in people that are holding them back from their next steps. So many of you have done the work. So many of you are, have made so many changes already, and it's incredible, but somehow you're kept at an edge. And this is the frequency pattern that's holding you at the edge, okay? So I've accidentally rubbed that off. So it's the 4 main hidden frequencies. The first one is, and there's no right or wrong. There's no one is better than the other. These are just patterns that we're exposing. First one is the survival self. So the survival self, and this was me before I'm getting really itchy. My fan's blowing my hair and it's just tickling me. The survival self is usually high functioning, often successful, often ambitious, but somewhere along the line we had to earn our worth. So we are proving, we're hustling, we're trying harder. We feel guilty for resting. We feel guilty unless we're doing. And we can convince ourselves that rest is boring, that we don't want to slow down, that we are just really excited. But actually, excitement turns into obsession and addiction, and we sometimes find ourselves addicted to the hustle, addicted to the doing, right? So the survival self is we end up then focusing on problems, we end up firefighting, we end up creating success, but we're burnt out, like the example of the lady I was talking about earlier, my client. We're pushing harder, we're trying to control, we are trying, I haven't got another word after that, and we are doing versus being. And the survival self just wants us to survive. It wants us to keep living that pattern. It's very, very strong. And so we are often in nervous system dysregulation. And what I said earlier, when your nervous system is dysregulated, it's very, very difficult to rewire your mind because it's saving all your energy to survive, because it literally thinks you're in a threat situation, a life or death situation. So you will keep yourself looping the same reality because you literally can't change your mind and your identity, because your frequency is survival. So we have to change the frequency to get you out of survival mode so that you can then start reprogramming, rewiring. Reprogramming and rewiring your mind is so easy when you're in a clear frequency, when your energy has lifted. It's so easy. It's so easy to stay on track. You don't yo-yo anywhere near as much, right? Just have a quick drink. So the shift from the survival self is about detachment. It's about doing what we've just done, detaching from reality, connecting back to yourself, connecting back to your soul, connecting back to your inner sense of being, because that's where your power is, connecting back to your heart. It is providing more time to rest. And that, for many of us, it was for me, can be very tricky. We can say we want balance. We can say we want to be more. We can say we want to rest more. We can say we want to do things that light our souls up. But when it comes to it, we can then, if we are self-sabotaging because of this pattern, we can then feel like it's boring. We can then just, the impulse, the habit is just to do, to go. Like those Duracell bunnies. I don't know if you get them all over the world, but in England, there's videos of Duracell bunnies, and they just, they're on these batteries that just go forever. And we can do that. And that's a pattern, and that's a habit, and it's not our soul, and it's not who we are, and it's not our power either. So we want to stop firefighting, which I've shown you how we do that. And we want to detach, which we've just done as well. So this is exactly what I do in my AWAKEN coaching, my one-to-one coaching that I take my clients through. Detachment is the biggest piece of the work, and we will look at these patterns and expose these patterns of survival. And this is where I call my clients out, because they will tell me that they want to rest more and move into more peace and connection, but their actions are not doing that, and they're not seeing it because the mind's saying, yeah, but you need to, yeah, but if you don't, who else is going to do it? Yeah, but. And that is what is so powerful about coaching, is that you get that accountability and you get called out on it, so you can finally see the patterns and realize, oh, okay, it's a pattern. Now I know it's a pattern, I can question it and decide if I want to do it or not. So going back to my client who came and she was living in this survival self, right? And so when she had that sabbatical, when she created space, when she let go, when she detached from that reality, it was still going on. She was on a sabbatical. She had to go back there. Like, she had just taken a break to create space. From this place, she allowed herself to be. She spent lots of time just sitting with herself, just slowing down for the first time in her life. And doing the work with me, I do a lot of identity work with my clients, which we'll talk about as well, and energy work and things like that. And so she ended up tapping into her ideal reality. What did she want to do? And the funny thing was, she was married to an author. She had studied English at university 40 odd years ago, but she never thought she was good enough to be a writer. Yet she always wanted to be a writer, and that's why she went to study it at university. I think she got a first honours as well for her degree. She got like the highest that you could get in a degree. She passed it with flying colours, yet still didn't think she was qualified enough, right? And it wasn't until we were doing this work together at 62, when she created space and tapped into who she wanted to be, that she wrote the first novel of her first book. It didn't matter what was going to happen at the end of that, but the fact is, she sat down for the first time and did something towards her dream. She wrote the first draft of a novel when she'd told herself for 40 years she couldn't because she's not good enough, or whatever the reason was, right? And this is what happens when we change our frequency. You can literally turn into somebody else and start acting like somebody else. You can easily absorb the new identity because you changed your frequency. You created space, you've calmed down, and you're no longer surviving and firefighting. So that's very powerful, and that's so common. So the second frequency pattern is the seeker. So this is when we get stuck, and this is what I do a lot of videos on because it affects so many people, and all of these patterns affected me, right? The seeker, this is where we get caught in the healing trap, and we end up starting to believe there's just one more thing we need to fix. We need fixing, we are broken, and then we end up self-blaming. We are focused on trying to do more to be enough, right? If this hasn't worked for me, then there's one more thing I need to fix. If this didn't work for me, it's because I'm not good enough. See, there is a problem for me with me. See, I am the problem. And so what happens is we create this trap of healing where we think we need to heal more, but we don't need to heal more. We need to integrate. So the missing step for the seeker is the integration piece. This is the piece where we have to make what we've been creating in our mind, body, and spirit as a spiritual idea, what we've been visualizing, what we've been dreaming. We have to make that reality through bringing the consciousness, the spirituality into physical reality. And we do that through really uncomfortable, big, bold action. You have to take the steps forward. Fear is there and you have to do it anyway. Fear doesn't go away. Trust me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't go away. So we need to get used to fear and use it as an activation point and a sign that it's something we need to do. If the fear's there, good, it means you're growing. Doubt, we need to move through the doubt because otherwise healing becomes hiding. It becomes a layer of self-protection where now it's easier to go and learn how to heal. It's easier to go for another healing session. It's easier to go and read another self-help book. There's just one more thing. It's the ego keeping you stuck again. It's the survival self keeping you stuck again. So the belief is I need to heal more before I can X, Y, Z, right? I need to fix myself. So I had chronic illness, chronic fatigue syndrome a couple of years ago. And this is where this really rang true for me. And actually, I was operating on the survival self as well. I was very dysregulated, nervous system dysregulation. I was exhausted, depleted. There was just nothing left in the tank. I had to walk the dogs twice a day, and that I could barely do that. Like, it was awful. For a few weeks, I was just like sleeping so much, could barely do anything. And then when I did do something, for 3 days after, I'd be absolutely depleted again. And so I spent all my time looking online. How do I fix this? Chronic fatigue, perimenopause, like researching all the symptoms, all the things that were wrong with me. And it became like this part-time job that became a full-time job, and it was all I was focused on. From the minute I wake up, oh, how do I feel? Before I even open my eyes, it's like, is it there? How do I feel? So focused on the symptoms. Well, guess what? When we're focused constantly on the symptoms, this is what we're doing. We're in the reality loop. We're stuck. And it wasn't until I watched this video from this health coach who helped people lose weight, but also help people heal mind body symptoms. And I heard her saying, it is your hyperfocus, your hypervigilance that is making the symptom 10 times worse. It wouldn't be anywhere near as bad if you let go of it and stop trying to fix it. And I was like, oh my God, it's just reality creation. It applies to everything. It's not just my goals. It's not isolated to one area of my life. It applies to everything. And now I'm doing the reality reaction loop on my symptoms, on my health, and I need to detach. I need to stop looking. I need to stop seeking. I need to stop trying to find the answer. And I need to implement the things that I already am implementing that I've learned will help me heal. And then I need to let go and start focusing on something else, which is really hard when you're in that situation, right? But it's the only way it's going to stop. It's the only way it's going to change, is by diverting your focus. Your focus is like your energy, your powerful energy signal, and what you're focused on, you are expanding and bringing more of that into your reality, right? However you are focusing on something. And when we change the energy, we change how we focus on something. I've had clients come to me after years of doing this work, years of therapy, years of self-help, decades of self-help, couple of years going to energy healer, and then still things not really changing. And it's because this integration piece is because they had taken on the identity of someone that needed healing, someone that needed fixing, someone that wasn't ready, right? And the integration is we have to own that identity of who we want to be, and we have to reprogram our mind. We have to do the reprogramming, because if we don't do the reprogramming, the mind is going to divert to the old patterns. And we have to do the frequency first, because otherwise it's too difficult to do the reprogramming, because we're attempting at a mind level, right? We're attempting at the mind level rather than shifting our energy and making it easy on ourselves and more instant to go in. Okay. So this is exactly the kind of work that we do in AWAKEN with the one-to-one clients, is really the answer to the seekers pattern is to reclaim your power. Like, own your power as a creator, own your power and value as a human being, own who you are unapologetically. It is the opposite of healing, is radical self-acceptance. It is saying, I am enough exactly as I am, but also I'm more than this because I'm an infinite soul, and I'm going to start tapping into that aspect of me, the infinite aspect of me. And this is what we do. And I do this through energetic releases, through energy alchemy, identity coding, and also soul activating methods. So I had someone in a session, and it was actually a group session at the time. And this shows you how powerful this work is, because there was a group I was just holding. So it wasn't even a one-to-one where we were talking through it and going through it in real time. And it wasn't, I was dealing with her specific blocks, her specific things. I was broadcasting it to a group. And I went through this process, this energy alchemy session. And she said at the end, she was in tears, and she was absolutely mind blown, because what we'd gone through allowed her to access something that she had shut away for years and years and years and years. It hurt so much, that had been such a huge thing for her, that had made her carry guilt and shame for so many years. And it's just too painful that she locked it right down. She said it was like it had been chucked down to the bottom of the sea with a chest and loads of chains on it, just buried in the ocean, never to be found again. And which is powerful analogy, isn't it? And so she said this process, when she wasn't even expecting it, helped bring that to the surface in her consciousness, helped the energy block that was in her body, the emotional block, all suppressed, all repressed, helped bring it all up and just get released. And she said she was in tears, but it was good tears, because there was so much relief, there was so much self-compassion, there was so much love and so much healing that happened in an instant. And this thing that she'd been holding for 10 years, just she was able to make peace with. And she didn't even try. She wasn't doing beliefs around it. She wasn't doing therapy around it. She wasn't doing shadow work around it. It came up because the subconscious knew it was time, and she was ready. And it was her, the intelligence within her was helping her transmute this and process it, because it had been what had been holding her back, the shame. It wasn't allowing her to tap into her power and be who she wanted to be. So again, this is why this energy work is so powerful, because it goes beyond the mind. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to know every belief. You don't have to know every wound, every memory, every thing. You just work at an energetic level and let what needs to come up in real time come up and be processed. And it always does. And it's powerful. So the third one is the creator. Oops. So the creator. So this is where we kind of move into reality, and we're owning our power. So we've moved out of survival mode for the best part. Like, we can still get caught in survival patterns, but we've moved out of survival mode. We're in creation mode. We know that we can create our reality, but we're stuck in the void. So we know our power. We're not trying to heal and fix ourselves anymore, but we're stuck in the void between where we want to be and who we want to be, and where we are and who we are now. And it's because we haven't fully embodied the frequency and identity of the version of us that already has what we want. And you've heard this a million times, that you have to hold that frequency. Remember my story at the beginning? We had to hold that frequency of who we were, what we wanted, the vision, regardless of the fact that we had a couple of shitstorms. Like, we had stock going out like we couldn't get stock to create our product when the sales went through the roof. And we're like, are you kidding me? Like, we've done all this work to get these sales and now we have no stock to sell to the people that really want it. Like, this has to be like life's joke, right? And so we had to go back to the practices and the things we were doing in the first place to shift the sales situation. And we were getting into high energy states. We were unlocking our frequency of possibility. We were deciding it was going to happen, whatever. And then we'd just have fun with it and we'd play with it. And I'd imagine like lorries for, just creating abstract, silly visualizations of these lorries backing up into the front of my house, opening their doors, and then all this product just falling out, just like creating piles everywhere. And like, I'm laughing in it, and it makes me feel good. It's fun. I'm having fun with it. I'm playing with it. I'm not being so serious and trying to wrestle it. And sure enough, in just a matter of weeks, our supplier found literally the only like random massive amount of this thing. Like, the whole world was in shortage. There were wait lists for 9 months for this thing we needed to make our product. Yet somehow our client came across it, and that's because our energy shifted. And so they were able to find it. It was able to come into that vicinity and make its way to us because we shifted again, So the creator, it's all about holding the void and holding the identity and the frequency of who it is that you're moving into without the evidence. The creator's constantly checking and saying it's not here, it's not here. They're trying to control the process and it's not working, and they're pushing it further away. So that is all about embodiment. Otherwise, the creator ends up yo-yoing constantly the new version of them and the old version of them. One day they feel like the new, the next they feel like the old. And it's because they are literally yo-yoing realities and timelines in that moment. But you have to hold that energy and that frequency and that knowing before it comes in. You have to be that no matter what. And you have to commit to that and decide that's what it is. If you're going to wait for evidence, it never comes, because the evidence comes because of who you are, right? To be successful, you have to decide you're going to be successful. If you're going to wait for success to show for you to be successful, you'll never be successful, because you'll never do the things you need to do to create this success. You'll never break out of your comfort zone. You'll never be in a frequency that is going to help attract what you need. You are always going to be stuck waiting. So we don't want to wait. We want to activate. We have to embody and act from the identity and the frequency of who we want. And this is the biggest part of my coaching with clients. My one-to-one coaching is identity and frequency, as you know. So we do things like identity recoding. We do things like belief alchemy, and the recoding I do with my clients, we do it on a one-to-one level through the subconscious work. So it's not me talking to them on their conscious mind, because that comes out with all the stories, excuses and lies. It's me getting them into a state where we are working on their subconscious directly to make tweaks in the program. We are shifting their energy in the same way and recoding their energy in the same way in real time. And the practices I give my clients to do use the mind, the body, emotions, and energy. It tackles all of them at the same time. So we're coming at it from this and not just that. So while we do the reprogramming work, we're doing it at a whole level of mind, body, and energy. So I had this client who had this dream. She was American and had this dream of going to Europe and just flying over there and going on a solo trip. And she had a family, and she'd never really done anything on her own before. She'd never even gone out for a coffee on her own before. So the gap between her doing that and where she was at the moment was so large. Like, it was like a different life, a completely different frequency. And so the work we did together was in closing that gap, into giving her some uncomfortable actions every week to go out and put into practice, teaching her how to embody who she wanted to be before she was ready, teaching her how to move through fear, not let the fear hold her back when it has held her back all her life. Helping her give herself permission, because that was the biggest thing. She'd never chosen what to do. She let everyone else choose. She put everyone else first. How many of us can relate to that have families, right, and children? Like, we put everyone else first. And so the biggest thing was really just that permission piece of, it's okay, I'm going to let myself do this thing, and then I'm going to move through the fear and the doubt as well. And that is, I was so freaking proud of her. After we finished coaching together, she went off and booked a flight to Europe to go off solo traveling for about 3 weeks, and she was leaving in 2 days. She just went and did it, and she would never have done that before doing this work together. Like, she told me that she'd never have done it, and she'd never have even thought it'd be possible for her in less than 12 weeks of being together. That was it, for her to just go out and be a completely different person to that degree. And it's scary, right? It's scary going to a new country, new language, being on a plane on your own when you're used to having people around you all the time. Like, that is brave. That is bold, brave action. But that's what we have to do. And that's what the seeker is always resistant to, is taking that action, of taking that bold, uncomfortable action, because it's scary. And so it's easier to stay in the healing trap, right? But we need to scare ourselves into action, not to the point where we're so dysregulated. That's when we're in survival. That's when we need to work on the survival self. But in the seeker self, we need to activate that bold, courageous power. So I have so many other stories, but we've already been going for nearly 90 minutes. So I'll move on to the last frequency. And this is the Life Alchemist. So this work, the work I do with AWAKEN clients, the frequency quiz assessment, it's all about moving you from survival mode to becoming the Life Alchemist in your life. So the Life Alchemist is someone who has really mastered a lot of creation. Maybe they've managed to create, maybe some areas in their life are amazing. Might still be one or two things that they haven't quite managed to get, or achieve or do. And that's okay, because the Life Alchemist isn't perfect. It's not about a destination. It's not about this is where it ends. It never ends. It never ends. But the Life Alchemist knows how to hold the frequency. They are not fixing themselves. They're not in survival. They're in a high frequency state. They allow themselves to feel the human emotions of life. So when they're having a problem and a challenge, they allow themselves to feel it. They forgive themselves for feeling it. They know how to shift out of it. They might get stuck there for a day, a few days, maybe even a week, but they know how to bring themselves back. So it's not about being perfect. It's about using the tools and understanding how to work with life and how to command it back, how to, when you wobble, when you spiral, how to bring yourself back. It's about emotional mastery, energetic mastery, identity mastery. But the Life Alchemist still comes with a hidden energy pattern that sabotages them, of course, because we all do, right? This one's slightly different. This one is because they've got so good at doing what they do, they've got comfortable. They've got too comfortable, and they are so afraid of losing what they've created that they are unwilling to take the next step. It could be something like they've got this amazing business or career, and now they're being guided to follow a purpose, which could be something like healing or sound healing or, meditations or running retreats or something completely different. And they're like, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything. I can't do that, because they've got so comfortable. But it's almost like they've gone back to square one now, although they're at a completely elevated state and identity. They're starting the process again. They're getting a calling. They need to respond. So they need to move through the fear. So they are resisting their next level. They're afraid to lose it. And they are being called to something new, something bigger. Maybe they're at a crossroads. Maybe a relationship's ended and they're having to recycle the process, because that's life. We're going to be moving through these things all the time. And the Life Alchemist understands that it's just life. It's just the circle of life. This is what happens. It's evolution. It's expansion. But they can just get caught by choosing comfort. So if you've got Life Alchemist, that is the block. It is the fact that you're now resisting what's coming next. And that is what you need to break. And again, when you shift your frequency and identity, that is when you're going to move through that block. So I had a client that was really successful in her business, absolutely flying, but she was at a ceiling. And when we had sessions, coaching sessions and energy alchemy sessions, we were able to expose some of the blind spots and the beliefs that had been keeping her stuck in this pattern. And she had beliefs about money. She had beliefs about her worth. She had beliefs about her family's thought on her and money. All of these things that many of us have. And it was keeping her at a ceiling in her business. And she was doing 10K months and she was thriving. But she wouldn't allow herself subconsciously and energetically to go beyond that. And after we exposed this in one of our sessions, after we shifted the energy, after we got her to tap into the identity of the person that does however much she wants because she wants to, she then went on to 10K weekends. Right. And she said it was the easiest 10K she'd made. She just, whatever it was, launched an offer, made 10K over the weekend. She was like, I did it with so much ease and fun and joy, because you stop blocking it through guilt and shame and shoulding and obligations and what other people might say and think. So that was really, really powerful. Oh, thirsty work, this talking. So that just shows you, like, we're always at a ceiling of what we can do. So the Life Alchemist is about defying the limit and breaking the ceiling every single time. So I'm going to come back into the chat quickly and just ask you, which frequency pattern resonates most with you? It's likely that there are elements of all of them, but there's going to be one dominant one. And it could just be like, again, there's no right or wrong. It's just, if you see it, you can expose it and you can shift it quickly. So let me know. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, okay. I manifested one-time sales using your sales affirmation video. Thank you. I don't know how to do that again like that with more ease effortlessly. That is amazing. I'm so glad you found that helpful. And that shows you were able to shift the energy. But often, and this is a creator pattern, is that when something works, we're like, okay, how did it work? And then we immediately go to control, which takes us out of the energy and frequency we were in that allowed it to come through, right? So we then go to control, impatience, and check in the 3D to see if it's here yet, rather than maintaining the frequency of possibility. So I had the one sale, it can come again. I wonder when it's going to come again. It could be today, it might be today. Wouldn't it be fun if it was today? That is a different frequency to, oh my God, I had one sale, that was amazing. The next day looking, oh, no sales today. The next day, no sales today. That didn't work today. That didn't work today. What are those two energies? It didn't work today is unpredictable. What is energy, remember? And when you were tapped in to that affirmation track, you were in the frequency of possibility. Wrong hand. You're in the frequency of possibility. You opened up your energy field. Something was able to find its way through. So it's about keeping that energy consistent without getting into the mind. It's about the energy, the possibility, the fun, the passion. Remember my story, getting back to the brand, like making it fun, making ourselves passionate about it and creative. And oof, this is hitting hard. I absolutely have that seeker thing going. But this is brilliant, isn't it? Because now you can see it, you're exposing it, and now you can call it for what it is. It's not you, it's not your identity, it's not your personality, it's an energy pattern. So you can detach your identity from it right now. It's a pattern, and it's somewhere that you are, and it's temporary, and you have the control to shift the energy, to shift the pattern. So how wonderful, right? The creator is where I am at the moment. Amazing. So do you find yourself checking? Do you find yourself wobbling? Do you find yourself yo-yoing between old self and new self? Right, ladies. Next, we're going to do number 3. So this is a much shorter one. And before we do that, I'm just going to show you a quick energy shifting technique you can use as a quick inner state shift, okay? So it takes 2 minutes just to clear the energy. First of all, just let yourself shake it out. So shake out everything that we've been learning, everything that you've been focused on, shake it all out, shake out the mind, because you've been thinking and we don't want to do that anymore. We want to tap back into state. So shake it. And if you can stand up, I can't where I'm sat, but if you can stand up, you can just shake your whole body out. And it feels so good to shake. Shake off the excess energy, shake out anything else that's come up. And then just take some deep breaths. So breathing in. And now I'm going to help you do a breathing pattern. This is a nervous system dysregulation pattern or regulation pattern. So we're going to breathe in for the count of 4 and we're going to breathe out for a count of 8. And we're also going to do another nervous system technique, which is the butterfly hug. And we're going to tap. So we're going to breathe in for 4. So 1 and out for 8. In for 4 and 8. Out for 8. In for 4. And out for 8. In for 4. And out for 8. Now just relax for a minute. Put your hands on your heart. Just feel that energy in your heart. You might feel your hands are really warm now from energy. That is the energy that you've just created, doing the tapping. Just feel your heart open, your heart expand. Feel the connection to yourself. Just allow yourself to think of something that you love, someone that you love. Whoever it is or whatever it is, allow it to just come in and allow yourself to tap into how you feel about them or how you feel about it. Feel your heart grow as you're thinking about them. And just feel that little satisfaction. Even notice a smile coming on your face. And just imagine you are now smiling all the way from your mouth, all the way down to your feet. Even your feet are smiling. It makes you so happy to think about this thing. Just sit there for a minute. And then open your eyes and come back again. Now, I don't know how long that took, probably 2 minutes. And you have now changed state. You've now shifted frequency again. That is how quickly this can happen to realign your focus and your thoughts and your energy. So we don't need to sit there stuck in the loop. We can shift our energy in 2 minutes, no excuses. And then we can come back to center and decide how we want to be now. And what really helps is if you have worked on your identity and you've got an idea of the identity that you now want to embody. And that is secret number 3. Your identity is the master dial on your energetic signal, on your frequency, and you get to choose it. So I just want to tell you, maybe you don't know this, maybe you do, but your identity, who you think you are right now, is fake. It's not real. You think it's real. You have lots of evidence in your life to show that it's real, but it's not real, it's fake. And the reason it's fake is because it is just a program of beliefs, thoughts, ideas, memories, things people told you as you were growing up. It is a paradigm. It's a program. It's a subconscious program. And it is the program that you have been experiencing your life through up until this point. It acts as a filter for everything that's coming into your life. Like your subconscious mind can process over a couple of million bits of data per second. Your conscious mind, the part of your mind that you've been trying to change your life with and that you're listening to me with, can only process 55 to 65 bits of data a second. That's 55 versus 1 or 2 million. The data you need to change your life is all around you. Your current identity, the program, the current program of your identity is filtering it out so you don't even see it. And it's like you've got these glasses on and you are looking at life through this lens of who you think you are. When you shift who you decide you are, because if it's just a program can be rewritten, you wouldn't still be walking around with your iPhone on the very first iOS update, would you? You would have updated it over and over. Every time an update comes out, you update it because it's software, it's a program. But the chances are you're not doing that with your identity. And you've carried your identity for years, decades, 40 years, 50 years, 20 years, 70 years, without doing a program update. It's time to do a program update. And you get to choose who it is. Your identity is simply the avatar you are walking around your life with or as, and it can be whoever you want. Remember my client who wrote the book, she chose to embody the identity of someone that was now a writer, and she wrote a book within 6 weeks of working together. She then decided she was going to embody the identity of a coach and started a coaching business within 12 weeks of working together. The client that I talked to about from the 10K months to the 10K weekends decided she was going to carry the identity of someone that made a lot more money and a lot more money with ease. And that's what happened. All of the work I do with my clients, they have to change their identity. Otherwise, you identify with what's going on in your reality, your problems, or you identify as your pattern. You identify with the survival pattern. You identify with the seeker pattern. That's just who I am. This is just who I am. This is just who I am, right? Who you are is limitless, is powerful. You are a soul first. You're an identity as a construct of how you interact with life in the 3D reality. So just like a computer game, you get to choose it. And there are some easy, powerful ways to shift your identity in as little as 6 weeks. That's what I help my clients do. I work with them for longer because the integration and embodiment piece takes longer than 6 weeks. You can change your identity in 6 weeks and then you can bounce back again. And that's what's probably happened for a lot of you, if not all of you, at some point when doing this work. And you bounce back to the old program and you think you can't do it. You think there's something wrong with you, but it's not. It's just you haven't been consistent enough with the new identity. Remember, that's the creator pattern, right? And then you can sit back into seeker because you're like, well, there must be something wrong with me because I couldn't do it. Yeah. The link to the quiz redirects me to this video. Oh, okay. I'll change that after. Okay. Yeah, I'll change that after. Okay. So your identity is the biggest part that controls your frequency. Your identity makes up your beliefs about yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions that you take. So this is why I work on 2 levels. I work frequency first, and then to include the mind and body, we work on identity because they are the 2 biggest dominoes in your life. If you just work on your thoughts, then you are chipping away at something that is much bigger. You are trying to chip away slowly, thought by thought, at your identity. If you just work on beliefs, you are trying to chip away at a big identity. You will never outperform your identity. You will never allow anything into your life that your identity isn't aligned to. It's like a thermostat controlling the temperature. It controls the amount of money you make. It controls the relationship, the amount of happiness you have. It is a subconscious control mechanism for the life you experience. So we shift our energy and then we embody a new identity, and then anything becomes possible. So I want to show you quickly who this new identity is. Now, you may have met her before, but we're going to go through a quick practice of you actually being able to tap into this from a frequency perspective. And I'm also going to help you just start to download some of that consciousness from the real version of you that you decide to be, because you can be anyone that you want. It's just you've told yourself you're the other version of you all this time, and that's what has become consistent and ingrained as a subconscious pattern. So I'm going to put the music on again, and we're going to do identity as a practice. So this is just a short one, just to help you tap into it and see it for what it is, help you see the gap, help you see what's possible, help you see who you really are. So again, just shaking out just for a second. Taking a deep breath in and out. Now take 3 more really long deep breaths in while I talk. I'm just going to let you take deep breaths in and out and get yourself calm while I talk. And what we're going to do is just let all the dense energy, all the manic energy, any stress, anything that's been going on, anything that you've learned, anything that you're still thinking about, just dissolve, drain, run off your body almost like water. Just imagine it running off your body like water. All the heavy energy, all the focus, all the thinking. And just imagine this, almost like this wave of beautiful energy, white energy, healing energy, just like this wave or this cloud of energy just now moving across your body and just sort of going from side to side. And as it does, it's cleansing your energy field. It's bringing your energy back to your authentic frequency, to your soul frequency. As it moves down your body, it's clearing out anything that isn't in alignment with you. And it's returning you to your authentic state, your authentic set point, connecting you to your heart, to your true self, to your power, to your dreams, to who it is you're here to be in this lifetime. Connecting you to infinite possibilities, connecting you to potentiality. You continue to feel the day just dripping off you, running off you, like water off a duck's back, as you feel this power inside of you lighting up, getting stronger. You don't need to think about it, describe it, explain it, see if it's right. You can just feel the power of who you are, the power of your own creation, the power of your soul. And it's expanding and taking over your whole body right now. Now I'm tuning into this frequency with you right now. So feel free to just tune into my energy field too. It is open for you to tune in and raise your vibration, raise your frequency, and calibrate to my energy right now. We're just rising together into the truth of who we are and what we are here to do on this planet while we're here. Rising above the lies our minds tell us, the limitations, the beliefs, the restrictions. Rising above all of that into our truth. Not willing to waste another day not being who we truly are. Not willing to waste another week or month or year giving into our fears. Only willing to activate our power, our desires, our dreams, and the life we're actually here to live. Today. The shift happens today. And in this frequency, I invite you to just bring forward the image of the version of you that you really desire to be. The version of you that is calling you to your next level, that wants you to overcome the threshold, the pattern, the limitation, the circumstance, the problem, that wants you to break through to your next level. Invite that version of you in now and notice what is different. What do you see? How is she different? How does she hold herself? What does she already know is handled? What different choices does she make? What did she forgive herself for? What action did she take? And what was the bold action or choice she made to actually integrate this learning? The thing she's been avoiding, the thing that makes her shrink. How did she show up for herself to make these changes and claim this life? Now I invite you to set the intention to now receive the consciousness and frequency coding from this version of you. You can almost see and feel the energy moving from her onto you directly. The energy is shifting, your field is open, and it is literally copying and pasting this new consciousness, this new identity, this new frequency onto you, onto your subconscious, onto your body, onto your energy field. And it's recoding every cell in your body with this new version of you, this new frequency, recoding every organ, recoding your DNA structure energetically. Something in you will shift and never be the same, for the better, bringing you closer to who you really can be, who you really are. Just allow that process to complete. It's very, very powerful. You don't need to think about how to do it, it's just happening automatically. You're not becoming her, you're remembering a frequency that you can return to. So this version of you is a state, it's a frequency. It's not a someday, it's something that you can feel immediately, instantly, anytime. This is who you are. Now slowly bring your focus back to your body, back to the moment. Feel the energy wiggling your toes and fingers. I just invite you to imagine roots now growing out of your feet into the ground, grounding you in to this new version of you and this new reality, this new timeline now, connecting you to the ground. This is your energy. This is who you are. And with that, take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And then open your eyes and come back to the room. And let me know how that experience was for you. And how did you notice the frequency shift? So what I like to do with my clients is we do things like this on a one-to-one basis where we are literally speaking through it and recoding you in real time according to your specific problems. And this is how we like to do it. We don't want to just do visualizations that stay in the mind. It's about including energy transference, including DNA recoding, including frequency upgrades, including real identity transference. And these things are really, really powerful to do at an energetic level. Your mind doesn't need to understand it. It tries to, but it doesn't need to, because this is energy. So don't forget to drop down in the comments. I'll come back in a minute and read how that experience was for you. Welcome back. So that was the final secret. So I just want to share a summary of what we've been through, because I know it's been a long time. So well done for everyone that has watched this all the way through. I'm giving you everything here, and everything in here will change your life if you act on it and you let it. So what we've been through now is you've learned through teaching and the stories that I've been sharing from myself and my clients. It doesn't just work for me. How and why working with your energy and changing your frequency is the fastest way to create any change in your life. You have learned how your frequency commands reality, that you have complete control over it. It's not something that you need to feel powerless about anymore. You have control, even though you didn't realize you did. I shared the 3 secrets to instantly raising your frequency so you can take back your reality, your power over reality, and actually live the life that you want. So the first secret being ignore reality. The second is identifying the main hidden energy pattern that is keeping you sabotaging, and shift it to activate your next level reality and your potential and your power. So the third one was upgrading your identity, because your current identity isn't even real. And when we apply these shifts to our energy, to our frequency, to our identity, everything changes. Everything changes. It can't not change. But the problem most people have, as we've talked about in this class, and as you've shared with me as well, is the consistency, is the embodiment, is the holding it, because our brain always wants to default to where we were before and the danger and the problems, right? So this is the biggest challenge for anybody doing anything that is going to challenge their whole paradigm, their whole subconscious program, their whole energy field, which is holding all these things from the last decades and decades, literally, of their life, that your old self is going to want to fight for its survival. And that's what happens, which is why doing this alone is so, so difficult. So you've been through the frequency and energetic shifts to see what it actually feels like in your power, and to show you how easily you can tap into frequency and energy. And if you didn't notice as big a shift as you thought you should or thought you might, these are things that we practice. And the more we do these things, the easier it is to shift, to the point you don't even need to go inside and do it anymore. You just choose a new thought and you shift immediately, because you're so used to frequency shifting. That's what I call it, frequency shifting. This is what I teach and coach my clients to do, is learning to navigate life with frequency shifting, so they don't have to get constantly spiraled and bogged down by reality. They don't have to keep firefighting reality. They can shift their frequencies so they can deal with the things they need to deal with in a new way that brings about a new outcome, meanwhile moving their focus onto something else, because they're not stuck in it anymore, right? So you've seen how quick and easy this is with some of these practices. So now it's about integration. It's about embodiment. It's about, what are you now going to do to create this change in your life? Because the last thing I want for you to do is to sit here, especially if you've watched this all the way through, to sit here and then just let it be something else you've collected, some more knowledge that you've got, some, something that's entertained you for a while, something that is really been valuable and insightful and interesting, and something that you needed to hear, but then it just drifts off and dissipates over the next few days because it hasn't been integrated. These things need to be integrated. The shift doesn't happen without integration, and that's just how it is, right? So if we don't integrate, and if we don't act, and if you don't do anything about this, then it's just going to widen the gap between who you are and who you want to be, where you are and where you want to be, because now you know more. So now you're going to be saying, well, I should be there because I now know that. So why aren't I there yet? So it makes the gap bigger and it makes it more painful. And I don't want that. I don't want that for you. So there's always two types of people I find at these things, at these kind of events and masterclasses and things. And it's, whether you're watching this on the live right now or whether you're watching the replay. And there's absolutely no judgment for this, by the way, at all. This is just human nature. So there's obviously the person that's enjoyed it, the person that I was just saying that's just, going to take this as more information, going to take this as something else that's in their information belt, like buying another book and sticking it on the shelf. You've collected it, it's been enjoyable, and then they'll move on to the next thing, and then they'll move on to the next thing. And later there'll be another video on YouTube and they'll go and watch that. And again, I'm not judging this, because this is how our mind works. It's like, oh, now this, it makes us jump. And that's why we don't get to where we want to be, because we have to be consistent and our mind finds it boring. So it's trying to distract us all the time. But there's also going to be the other person, the other type of person who has enjoyed this, is feeling activated, but also knows they are ready to shift and knows this is exactly what they need to do right now, and doesn't want to wait, and doesn't want to figure it out on their own, and doesn't want to struggle, and doesn't want to waste another 6 months of this year not being who or what they want to be. They don't want to waste any more time reading more self-help books, trying to figure it out. They don't want to spend another 3 months watching manifestation videos, trying different manifestation techniques that don't work, because they haven't shifted their identity and their frequency. And so that is the woman I'm about to speak to now. So if that resonates with you, if you are that person, then this next part is for you. And this is about the invitation that I have for you. So I've obviously shared some really powerful insight and activations in this class, but this is how we can take it further. So I have just opened up a brand new coaching experience, which is more powerful than anything else I've created before. And I'm calling it Awaken VIP. So it's my Awaken coaching, but I'm also adding 3 crazy bonuses with it, which I'll talk about in a minute, which are valued over £1,500 between them if they're sold separately. One of them is completely brand new, and they're going to be gifted to anyone that does decide that they want to do this. So there's only 4 spots for this. So anyone that's watching live, anyone that's watching the replay later, anyone that comes across this on YouTube later, there's only 4 spots. So, you know, when they're gone, they're gone. It's a very small, intimate, high touch, deeply immersive relationship experience we're going to have. And it's because I want to give you my full attention, my eyes, my energy, my focus on you, your goals, your dreams, what it is that you want, why you haven't got it yet, the roadblocks, the stories, the beliefs that you've bought into, the fears and the doubts, your energy, your frequency patterns, your specific challenges. And I want to help you overcome them over the next 90 days. So we are looking at a 90-day challenge, a 90-day shift to take you from who you are now into who you just felt in that energy experience, into that version of you that you really are. So we want to rewrite the fake identity and take you into a much more empowered and limitless version of you. So we'll do that over the next 90 days. And then we have another 90 days to integrate. Now, remember, shifts can happen in weeks, literally 6 weeks. You can literally reprogram a new belief in 2 weeks if you do it with identity. If you do it with frequency work and the mind reprogramming, right? Not this way. That could probably take about 8 weeks. This way, if we do it with frequency as well, it can happen in as little as 2 weeks. But a real identity shift can happen in 6. But 90 days really integrates that identity. And then there'll be another 90 days of support to make sure you never go back, to make sure this stays who you are. So this has been designed to help you completely reclaim your power over your reality, to stop firefighting, to stop reacting from what is, to move you into what's possible, to go after your goals and dreams unapologetically, to give yourself permission to break through into those goals and those visions that you've never let yourself go after before. I want to help you activate that. I want to help you give that to yourself. Like, this is you. This is your next 6 months of the year. This is all about you and what you want. And if even that makes you feel uncomfortable, it's digging through that and shifting that and getting rid of that, the guilt and shame about wanting something, right? Because as women, we have that. I want to help you shift the unwanted circumstances in your life. Fully accepting and owning and loving who you are is a massive piece of this. So we no longer have to be stuck in the seeker pattern where we're thinking there's something wrong and we need to fix. It's that one of the most powerful frequencies you can ever be in is your authenticity. And when you learn to love and respect and radically, unconditionally accept yourself as who you are right now, the version that you are right now without having to change anything, that is the most powerful frequency you're going to emit. And it's also going to expand you into who you're going to become next, right? So that you can become the woman you've been visualizing, the woman of your dreams, and you can activate the life that you have been wanting to create and maybe you've thought isn't possible for you. Maybe you've thought it's taking too long. Maybe you've thought you're too old now, right? So that is what we want to shift, all of that. And I want to help you do it in a way that's easier and quicker than anything you've tried before, even if you've watched YouTube videos on self-help, personal development, manifestation, mindset for months, years, or decades. Even if you've read every self-help book there is and things still haven't shifted, even if you are having so much fear and doubt about the things that you want and you just don't know if it can happen ever for you, that's just the mind. That's just a block. That's just a pattern. That's just holding you back, right? So, and that's without trying any harder or staying stuck in the reality reaction loop anymore or staying stuck in the healing trap. We want to obliterate all of that and really move you into your power. So this is the work that I do with women. And you can hear from my voice, I'm very passionate about this. And it can happen very quickly on a one-to-one basis because there's just us, right? So I'll share in a minute what the AWAKEN program is. I share a really simple framework that I'll be able to explain in just a few minutes. And then I'm going to share the 3 really powerful bonuses that I'm including for the next 48 hours only. And remember, there's only 4 spots as well. So But before I do this, so this is basically going to be perfect for you if you feel like you're at the verge of a breakthrough. You know, it's almost like you're at the verge of this threshold and you can't shift it. You've been trying, maybe you've even been trying for a long time, and you know it's there, you know there's something, but you just can't shift it. It's you if you have been circling the same old identity, the same old reality, if you've just been stuck in same day, same shit, different day, you know, Groundhog Day. But you know there's more, like your soul's calling you to more. You can't get it out of your mind. You can't get it out of your consciousness. Like, you know there's something and it's driving you. And it's also perfect for you if you take action. Like, if someone doesn't take action, they're not going to get anything from this. So I wouldn't even want to waste their time. You have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be driven. This has to matter to you, right? Because otherwise you're not going to overcome the program. Otherwise you're not going to do the things in between our calls that you need to do. You're not going to do the practices for consistency because it's boring and we're going to be on to the next thing. You have to want this. You have to want this new life. You have to want this new version of you. You have to be ready to own it. And even if you feel fear and doubt at the prospect of it, that doesn't matter. That's just part of the process. We don't care about that. We will shift that and we will work through that. But you have to want it. Even if you haven't given yourself permission, we can shift that too. That's fine. You have to want it. And you have to really want this. So there has to be a desire in you. And you know that, you know, someone in your corner, someone in your pocket is going to really, really help you. You know that you are going to use that as a resource because you'd literally have me for 6 months pretty much in your pocket, right? There are some caveats to that. It's not 24 hours. But, you know, you will use that. You will value that. You will use that to help yourself. Like, I can't handhold people that come into these containers, especially at this value. This is for someone that's ambitious, that's driven, that's already got some success in their life, right? And so that is the type of person this is for, because you're going to go and make it work with me right next to you. So if it's not for you, if you find yourself always talking about change, but you always back away from anything outside of your comfort zone, you don't quite make the move, you find yourself frozen, not able to take any action, or you find yourself blaming circumstances, people, things all the time. If you find yourself looping on that and you're in a bit of a victim mindset, this isn't going to work. Like, this isn't going to work at all, because this is radical self-responsibility, and it's also radically owning your power. That's what I'm going to help you do. But it's not going to work if you want to divert back to it's not fair, it's their fault, it's the economy, it's this, right? It's also not for you if you're not ready to invest in yourself. Like, you have to be willing to invest in yourself energetically, emotionally, with time, because we need to obviously meet, and there's going to be things you need to do, although it's not going to be as much time as you probably think. And financially, obviously, there's going to be a financial offer as part of this. So this is deep work for me and you to go for 6 months together on a really intimate, really intense journey together. So there is going to be a financial part to this. And also, if you're just always waiting for the right time, then it's not going to be for that person either, because the right time never comes, right? It never comes. So let me just give you a quick overview of what the framework looks like. So I use a framework called DARE. Dare to be yourself. Dare to have a bigger life. Dare to challenge yourself to see what you're capable of. Dare to own your power. Dare to be the most magnetic, powerful, empowered, inspired person you've ever been, person that you know. Dare to outshine others. Dare to stop diluting your power, to stop diluting your authenticity. Dare to be you unapologetically. And that is what this is all about. So the D is about detachment. And we've talked about this a lot. So detaching from your reality, detaching from your circumstances, detaching from your old stories, your disempowered stories and your beliefs, detaching from the old version of you, detaching from your memories. This is what I help you with in our sessions together and outside of our sessions. So we go through energetic practices. We go through subconscious recoding. We go through emotional alchemy and mastery, so that you can stop feeling powerless every time something happens. You will stop the emotional dips. You will stop the spiraling. You will stop feeling out of control all the time. You'll stop dropping into nervous system dysregulation. You'll stop dropping into survival mode. because you won't need to, because you'll have the tools and practices, and will be raising your energy so high that you will be able to detach emotionally from all of the stuff that you no longer want in your life. So A, out of dare, is activate your own power. And that is exactly what we're going to do. Activate your limitless self. The version of you, not only the version of you, will first be activating your soul. So activating your soul self so that you tap into your own power. You become your own coach. You become your own source of inner guidance. You start to trust yourself so much more deeply. You understand your power. You feel your power. You own your power. And then on top of that, we create the avatar. So you own your power as the human version of you as well. You activate that power, knowing how good you are, owning your qualities, owning everything about you that makes you amazing. The R is reclaim your authentic frequency. So this is where, from doing what we've already done with the detach and activate, we're already shifting it. Your frequency will be so much higher, but we're bringing you deliberately into your core frequency, your authenticity. Remember, it's the highest, one of the highest frequencies there are. One of the highest states of consciousness is being in your authenticity. So we're going to return you back to your authentic frequency so that you can naturally and automatically magnetize what is meant for you, magnetize what is aligned for what you want. But it's also, and you know, this could sometimes be an issue for some people, it will also repel the things that aren't meant for you. So it will repel the unwanted conditions, but it could also repel things that you've outgrown that you're still holding on to, right? So it repels what is no longer in alignment for you, but attracts everything that is. And then the last part is embody. So the E is embody your chosen identity. And I help you identify this new version of you, choose your avatar, create an identity blueprint of the version that acts as your North Star. I give you the tools and processes for you to recode that on a daily basis without me. We'll also do some of this together as well. And you'll be embodying it. You'll be challenged to act before you're ready to embody this, which is why only someone that's ready to be courageous and brave, you don't have to have it all figured out. There's no other requirements apart from coming in courageous and open and willing. Okay. So if that sounds good, that is 90 days to shift at the identity and frequency level. Another 90 days integration, so 6 months together. We will be meeting regularly on Zoom for live sessions, coaching sessions, and recoding sessions. You'll also get energy healing sessions. I'm going to be giving you practices, content, actions, and other things that you need to integrate to help this actually become who you are. So that whole integration and embodiment piece, so it actually becomes hardwired in your energy, your subconscious, your mind, and your body. And you will end this year as a completely different version of you. So this is a 6 months of one-to-one immersive support. The investment is £5,555. There is a payment plan available. And for the next 48 hours, it also includes the 3 bonuses that I mentioned that I will share with you now. So these are worth over £1,500 alone if you were to buy them separately. So the first one, and this is brand new, something brand new that I'm offering that I'm really excited about. So I'm gifting it to the 4 people that join into AWAKEN VIP coaching right now. I'm gifting it to them before it is ever released or sold outside, and it's worth £777. And this is called Become Your Own Energy Healer. So I'm going to give you a training bundle that teaches you some of the energetic work that I do with my clients. It doesn't teach you how to go and do energy healing on someone else. That's not what it's for. That is a whole thing in of itself. But it teaches you how to become your own energy healer. So you don't need to go and pay for any more energy healing sessions unless you want to. It will teach you how to work with your own energy so that you can clear your own beliefs, so that you can rewire your identity, so that you can heal old wounds and old memories. You'll be able to shift negative energy on demand. You'll be able to heal relationships with other people energetically through your own energy healing. And what this does is, if you think about your energy field, it's going to cleanse so much of the stuff that's in your subconscious mind and your energy field that it's not sending out all these mixed signals anymore. It's not diluting your frequency. But you don't have to rely on me to do it with you. You'll obviously get that as well. but it means that you will learn how to do it yourself. So even after our 6 months together, you'll be able to continue to do your own energy healing on yourself. So I'm really excited for this one. It's going to be so powerful. I actually can't wait to release it as a product, but this first. So the second bonus is Belief Alchemy Workshop and Activation. So one of the sessions we are going to use in your one of your bi-weekly Zoom video sessions, we are going to use the Belief Alchemy Workshop and Activation, which is worth £333. So we are going to workshop together on your beliefs, but we're going to go really deep. We're going to get straight to the root of what it is. And we are going to do some live belief alchemy recoding. I'm also going to be doing some energy clearing on it as well. And I will be giving you a couple of really powerful tools to use to recode your beliefs through energy and through your mind outside of our session. That's going to make it really easy and really quick, and you'll be able to do it in as little as 2 weeks. And I'll also be giving you, what we'll do is we'll create some personalized audios together as well. And I will be able to help you with the recording of them, and I'll be able to help put music to them and everything as well. So I'll be able to give you your own personalized audios that you get to use also as a frequency shifter, a belief shifter, and part of your belief alchemy process and workshop. And the third bonus, I know there's so much going on. The third bonus is the Identity Intensive. So this is something that I sell right now for £555. It is a 2-hour deep dive where we sit there and workshop your identity together. So instead of just giving you sort of the workbook and the tools and the videos, which is really powerful, and that's what I normally do, and it's all you need, but this is where we actually take it to the next level and go deep. So we'll upgrade one of your sessions from 1 hour to 2 hours, and we'll do a full-on identity recode within that session. So you don't have to go off and do it on your own. You don't have to spend a week or two doing it. We'll do it there and then. We will shift. We will create your new identity blueprint. We will look at the roadblocks. We will do an energy clearing on it as well. And again, we will come up with some tools, some very personalized and tailored tools that you need, that's going to help you shift into that new identity in as little as 6 weeks. But we still need the full 6 months for the full calibration. That is the only way you're going to do it, so you're not bouncing back constantly to the old self. So they are the 3 bonuses. I'm just going to check. How can I sign up for this? I saw the four spots offer in your email as well, but no direct link. Okay, there is, I can't see the description on this. In the description of this YouTube video, there is an apply for AWAKEN VIP application form. All you need to do is go now and fill in that application. And I'll do it. I would do it if people are interested. I'd do it as soon as you've got the nudge. There's no commitment. You don't have to, it's an alignment call basically. So what we'll do is you fill out the application form so that I can make sure that you're the right fit first. If your application is successful, I will book a 20-minute free alignment call with you, which is really to give us space to feel our energy and make sure we're the right match together, because that's really, really important if we're going to work together for 6 months. That is somewhere that you can ask any questions. I can explain the experience and how it's all going to work in more detail if you need me to. So that is application first. The link is in the description. Then if it's successful, I'll book a call with you and we will run through that. And then we'll get started. So there's no waiting. Like, I want to get onto this instantly before the end of this month. So we've got the 6 months before the end of the year. So hopefully that answers that question. And that really brings all of this to a close. So I know some of you are still here. I think there's been a few of you that stayed all the way through. I've seen quite a lot of people coming in and out as well. So thank you for staying here for that long. Like, it's been an absolute pleasure spending this time with you, sharing this work. I can't state enough how powerful the energy frequency work is. And if anyone has done energy healing before and it hasn't worked, because I see this all the time as well, it's because they didn't integrate. They stayed in the healing trap. They didn't integrate and they didn't do the subconscious programming. We need both. Energy is the biggest piece, but we still have to reprogram our mind. Otherwise, we divert back our focus to what always has been, what hasn't worked before. Remember, our brain is a survival mechanism. It's always scanning for what's wrong. And so it's always going to take us back to the problems. So we need the subconscious recoding as well. Okay. So energy, frequency, identity, it's your fast track. It's your fast track to changing anything in your life. So let me know. I can hang around for a few more minutes if anyone's got any questions on anything that we've covered. In fact, it's a good opportunity for me to have a quick drink. Anything that we've covered today. So any of the 3 secrets, any questions that you've got at all with where you're at. Also, any questions about Awaken VIP, just drop in the chat and I will answer them. Yeah, feel free, just ask your questions. It's absolutely fine. So thank you so much, dear Kirsty. This is exactly what I read right now. I'm currently at work and I'm looking forward to replaying this amazing workshop and repeat the exercises. That's amazing. Watch it again. Absolutely watch it again if you want to. If you do feel like this is the opportunity you want to go to and you want to work together for the next 6 months on this, get the application through anyway. Even if you're watching the replay and everything, that's fine. The bonuses are for 48 hours only. So just by doing the application, you will guarantee the bonus should we go ahead together, right? The application doesn't mean you have to commit. It just means you guarantee your bonuses. And then if it's successful, we'll book the call and then take it forward. Good luck, Kirsty. Good luck, everyone. I believe in you. We believe in you too. Right, so I want to ask one question. There are so many parrots that fly over my... I'm calling you Kirsty. Oh, Kirsty. Everyone, whereabouts did you say you were from? Right, you're from Germany. You're calling me Kirsty all the time. It's absolutely fine. Everyone in America calls me Kirsty because I think that's the name. I don't think they have Kirstys out there. I see the questions about a specific manifesting a parrot. This isn't really about manifestation and specific manifestations. This workshop is about tapping into your power and changing your life, your identity, and your frequency. But the only thing I'll say to you, I should read it out for everyone else. Okay, there's so many parrots that fly over my terrace once or twice. A couple of parrots even came to my terrace, but at the time there was no food or water available. Now I've started keeping food and water for them, but I don't know how to manifest that a parrot actually comes, eats the food and drinks the water. How should I manifest this? Maybe if you just didn't try. Maybe if you detached. Maybe if you didn't just need it to be that exact frequency, that exact thing, and stayed in the frequency of just allowing it to be what it wants to be. Like, I don't want this to turn into a specific manifestation thing because that's not really the goal of this. But, picture what it is that you want to see, experience it in your mind, experience it in your vision, and then be in the frequency of just being open to receiving it or not. Because that's the thing. When we are, last bit of the lesson, when we're in creative frequency, we are doing the things we're trying to intentionally manifest, but then we try and force the outcome. We try and control, and then we're looking at it saying it's not happening. So the more we look at it saying it's not happening, the more we try and control it, the more we say, I want it to work in this specific way. That's when we're not in the frequency. So be in the frequency. Be in the frequency of the parrots, whatever that feels like to you. And just let it come. Let it surprise you. Let it go. Surrender. Right, my loves. If there's not any other questions, then we should probably wrap this up. It's been a little while, but I wanted to make sure that I gave you a really good experience, and I trust I've done that. So thank you so much, all you lovely ladies that have come onto this. Well done for giving yourself this time, and thank you for spending this time with me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to sign off now. So last things, if you want to watch the replay and you're watching this on YouTube, sign up for the replay. Link is in the description. If you haven't done the quiz, I'm going to change the quiz link right now. So go into the description and you can join that quiz by the link. Anyone that wants to apply for Awaken VIP, do it ASAP because those 4 spots will be gone. And the 48-hour bonuses will only last 48 hours and then they're gone. The Awaken on its own is still incredibly powerful, but the bonuses will be also freaking amazing. So I can't wait to see who is going to come on the next part of the journey with me. I'm so excited. I'm sending you all so much love and I'll see you soon. Take care.